Welcome back to Hawks Digest, everyone. I am Chris Tip Moore. It's time to take off those shoes, leave on those socks, man. Let's get into post game Hawks Magic prime time down there in Orlando. The fans were out for the Orlando Magic tonight, and the Atlanta Hawks, they gave a valiant effort, but unfortunately, we failed to the Orlando Magic 119 to 112. And man, this game, it's just so crazy, Hawks fans. It just seems like 112 is like the Hawks ceiling or something when it comes to these Orlando Magic. Because when the topic is Magic versus Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks seem to have a tough time getting past 112 points when it comes to facing the Orlando Magic. So this is another game of 100 topping out right there at 112 points. The Atlanta Hawks started out the game. We ended the first quarter up by 1 point, and then the Orlando Magic after that seized control in the second quarter, 26 to 36, taking that lead into the halftime. Atlanta tried to come out and fight against it, but the second half just felt like keep away. Like y'all know that old school game keep away. You know what I'm saying? You just playing keep away. That's what this game felt like to me in the second half. Like just a old school game of keep away. The Magic would score, the Hawks would score, and it just seemed like it was just a tough time stopping the front court of the Orlando Magic. Something that us as Hawks fans we know. We only have like Double O, and I know a lot of people complain about Double O, but he's all that we have. And Moji, he's serviceable. I like Moji. I think Moji is coming along very well. What I'm saying, for a guy that was never in the plan to even play this season, just speaking what our general manager Landry Fields said, that's not coming from me. So Moji, he's coming along well. I think, since this was a game that he needs to play the rest of the season, significant minutes just to help with that development because you got to see what you're going to do with him next year. Again, Hawks had the problems in the front court. They did still win the points in the paint, narrow margin, 50 to 48, over the Orlando Magic. Also, the Orlando Magic were able to hold the Atlanta Hawks from something that they do best, and that's getting out and running the floor. The pace was at the Orlando Magic, especially in the second half. Really, it started in the second quarter, and along with also, you got to think about this: the free throws. These guys got a lot of free throws. They got a lot of free throws, and in the second quarter, compared. Now, I'm not putting it all on the refs. I'm not going to do that. They were bad, but at the same time, again, the Magic had stifling defense. The Magic, what I'm saying, played their pace and made us play their pace. Again, fast break points. We only had five. Five. Not we only had five on it today as far as when it goes to the fast break points. So again, that's just another testament to showing the Orlando Magic. We're saying we're going to limit these Atlanta Hawks running because we don't want to run with them because we can't run with them. Not for an entire game. We've tried that. We've lost that way. Let's play our game, and that's what they made the Atlanta Hawks do tonight. The biggest lead for the Orlando Magic was 14 tonight. Also, bench points was neck and neck, 25 for Atlanta, 24 for Orlando. The turnover battle, Hawks had 18 turnovers. You would have liked to at least possibly stayed around where Orlando was at 13, maybe 12 or 11. I feel like extra possessions could have helped the Atlanta Hawks in this game. Points were tough to come by. They were doing their best to try to run us off the 3-point line. 22 threes for the Atlanta Hawks in the previous game, 14 tonight. So we still were able to get some shots up, but again, Orlando was making it tough. Those guys also had been off for 4 days. The Orlando Magic coming into this game, we just played Sunday, so we get Monday off, and then we play. Orlando's not far from Atlanta, especially when you got jets and charter vans, charter buses and all that stuff like that. You know, it's not far, but still, the Magic had 4 days off. Last time they played was Thursday. Remember when the Hawks had a few days off? Remember, like back when that snowstorm, and then we had to replay the Houston game, and then the Atlanta Hawks came out with energy. That very next game ended up winning against the Suns after just losing to them, and felt like a completely different team. Rest will do that for you. And again, the Orlando Magic, they still had to get up and play, of course, but again, 4 days of rest, 4 days to game plan, 4 days to figure out how you want to attack the Atlanta Hawks. I'm just saying it's an advantage. Um, Also, I said in the second half, making Atlanta play at their pace, and they just made it tough on our Atlanta Hawks guys. I mean, at the end of the day, you look at it, we just look out of whack. Okay, our game looked whack, and we looked out of whack. So that's just what it is, man. I'm still going to get into individual performances. I'm still going to do that, even though this was a complete team loss. I will get into some individual performances. I'm going to start off with my guy, Double O. Somebody that people complain about him all the time. He's too small, he's too short. Again, he's out there using skill and IQ to score against these bigs. We have the same problem going on tonight that we seeing against the Nuggets, that you will see against the Rockets, and that's big to big. A competent front court. And we didn't have anybody that could stop Pablo Banchero. We tried Dyson Daniels. We tried Double O. We tried a little bit of Mo Gay. We tried a little bit of Terrence Mann. It was either you're too small, not strong enough, or too slow. So we didn't have anybody for him. Wagner, he's always Franz Wagner. He's always a problem. You know, he has been the last 2 seasons. Honestly, I feel like his game has taken another step to the next level. He still gave them 22 points a night, but also the X factor for them was Wendell Carter Jr. So they had those three bigs coming at you. Then you got Corey Joseph, who I even forgot was even in the league. I felt like that was a rando from the bando moment. Just him even coming out there, scoring 8 points. Now it's only 8 points, but he was still effective on both ends of the floor. He was playing defense. He got a couple of open shots. He got a wide open layup after stopping his dribble and keeping Trey behind him, and when he got an easy layup. It was it was just hit after hit, and again, it felt like a big old game of keep away in the second half. They were just saying, "Hey, let's execute our offense," and we don't believe that they have enough offense or enough players who can knock down shots. Something else that we were doing, but we needed more of it. I mean, for peak's sakes, I mean the Hawks still had yet another 5, 6 guys who were shooting over 50% from the field or right at 50, with Zaccharie Risacher being one of those guys, Dyson Daniels being one of those guys, Trae Young, Vit Krejci, and of course Double O with his 30 points and 14 rebounds tonight, and a career high in 3 pointers. He hit 4 tonight out of 7 attempts. His previous career high was 3. 9 of 17 in 40 minutes. Yes, in 40 minutes. That just lets you know we didn't have a lot of help when it comes to our front court. Moji, he got 18 minutes. He could have roughly had at least 20. But Barlow played tonight, and he played 1 minute and 8 seconds. And then he had to get pulled because that front court is nothing to play with. Jalen Johnson, if you can hear me, sir, please get well soon. Because in a game like this against Paolo Banchero, we would love to have Jalen Johnson this game. I feel like it would have been a totally different game. At least it would have been tougher for Banchero to go off on you for these 33 points that he had tonight. 33 points and 10 rebounds to be exact. So again, you know what I'm saying, we know that we were a better team when we had Jalen Johnson. We was also better defensively too when we had Jalen Johnson. Now it's all about what we can do, guys. Hawks fans, I'm not gonna lie to you. The personnel is the personnel. Nobody's coming through that door, you know. And Clint Capela, he may return. I know he was probable coming into the game, but of course he didn't play. So we'll see what happens the last 3 games, plus possibly the play in and beyond, hopefully. And we'll see where that goes. But tonight, this was just straight up. They were more physical than us. They played their style of basketball. They made us play their style of basketball. They out rebounded us. They, like I said, of course, they was more physical. They had that 3-man rotation with the front court of Wagner, Banchero, and Carter, and we only had Onyeka Okongwu, a serviceable Moji, and shout out to him. You know, what I'm saying, he did the best that he could, but again, that's just the personnel. That's our problem, guys. And moving forward, we have to, of course, shake this off. Like the old goat said in that old church hymn, we got to shake this off and pat it under our feet because we got yet another game coming up, guys. We playing again on Thursday against the Brooklyn Nets. And then that's going to be a back-to-back because right after that, you got the Philadelphia 76ers. We are in Brooklyn, by the way, and we are in Philadelphia. So more road games. Atlanta Hawks have to tighten up because now we are 2 games behind Orlando for that 7th seed. I said probably we'll end up no worse than the 8th seed, and I still believe that. Chicago lost tonight as well against the Cleveland Cavaliers, so you did get some help there. But we have to tighten up. Chicago and Miami play each other tomorrow. And these guys pretty much have similar records at 36 and 43. So they're right behind us, guys. And we have to tighten up, okay? Because we only have 37 wins. And Brooklyn has 26, but we know that doesn't mean anything because they beat us last time. All right, guys. Those are my thoughts, man. I don't have like crazy thoughts, you know what I'm saying, about the game, but let me finish up these individual performances. Next, I have to go. It's not George Niang. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Trey Young, Trey Young, man, 28 points, 10 assists. He shot 9 threes. You know what I'm saying? He only hit 3 of them, but still 50% from the field, 10 of 20, and 5 of 6 from the foul line. He got himself a steal as well. Only 3 turnovers. So, and honestly, 2 of those turnovers came into the second half. One was kind of like an ill-advised pass. He tried to force it in there, didn't make it. And another one, I think that he was charged to him as well. But overall, not a bad game from Trey. Not a bad game from him as not as like what it's saying. I know he was a -5 and everything, and I feel like a couple of those threes had something to do with that. Maybe a couple inside shots, especially like the one in around the rim. But ultimately, I'm not disappointed in this game from Trey Young. Ultimately, the whole entire team together, I feel like looked a little dismal. So this right here, this is a game, like I said, we got to shake it off, pat it under our feet, get ready for Brooklyn. We have to beat Brooklyn. Hawks need to win the next 2 games to solidify themselves to not drop out of that 8th spot. Because again, like I said, Miami and Chicago are on your heels. If you slip, you will end up in the 10th seed. I'm just being real. If the Hawks don't get it together, 9th or 10th seed. So let's see exactly, where we can go with this and move forward with this. Hey, we'll see what happens. Last guy that I'm going to mention before I get ready to get up out of here, guys, is my backup point guard, Dyson Daniels, but also the Great Barrier Thief. And tonight, Dyson Daniels, he only had 1 steal tonight. So that was another thing that just lets you know that they were trying to keep the ball away from him. We tried to use. It was terrible because a couple times Dyson was in a bad spot. I seen Dyson Daniels guard Wendell Carter in the paint. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's the Great Barrier Thief, but he hasn't has the size for Wendell Carter. Okay, I seen him trying to guard Pablo. He doesn't have the size for Pablo. And then also Franz Wagner. It's just like that three front court look. I'm Great Barrier Thief or not. I mean, what you gonna do against that? But again, 7 for 12 for the Great Barrier Thief. He shot the best tonight of anybody at 58%. 0 of 2 of 3, so he didn't knock down a three. Kind of hate that for my parlay, but that's another story, and I'm no storyteller. Also, 15 points, 2 blocks, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Of course, you know I always love the rebounds from my guards. So again, good night tonight from Dyson Daniels. Again, Hawks just fall. We could not pull it together. Game of keep away from the Orlando Magic against our Atlanta Hawks. Guys, please, 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 thank you so much for always tuning in. Thank you for the kind words and also the comments. You know, what I'm saying I really try my best to get to you guys. You know, what I'm saying read all your comments and get back to you because it means a lot to me. So, you know, what I'm saying shout out to you guys, salute to you guys, and all you guys who have made Hawks Digest one of your first listens when you need Hawks content. Really appreciate it from the heart and the logo. So until next time, guys, I will be right back at you guys when some news breaks, rumors breaks, anything coming at it. And of course, most likely I'm going to be with you guys post game, really for the rest of the season. So I mean, we only got 3 games left as far as the regular season goes. So you can expect your boy Chris Tipmore to be right here. Until next time, guys, peace and blessings to you all, and to you all, I'll